What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Devin and I hope that you will consider sticking around and subscribing. And if you're not new, as always, welcome back. You know I love you. So for today's video, we have another self-tan review coming at ya, and this one is actually a pretty recent release, so I am very excited to talk about this tanner today. So the Fox Tan was kind enough to reach out to me and ask me if I would be interested in trying out their new self-tanner, so I, of course, was much obliged to say yes. So this video is not sponsored in any way, but they did send these products over for me to test out, so I am very grateful to them for that. So they sent me over their new self-tanning mitt. This is called the Luxe Tanning Mitt. As you can see, it's got a thumb. This is like a similar shape to my Coco and Eve one. And then it says Glow Getter here on the bottom, if my camera will focus, which I think is really cute. So it feels nice and soft. It feels very well made. I'm really excited to use this. And then in this cute little pouch here that they sent over, it says Baby Got Bronzed, which I just think is so cute. We have the Fox Tan Fake Gradual Face Tanning Serum, Gradual Self-Tan Face Serum with hyaluronic acid. And then they also sent over their new self-tanning mousse. So this is called the Fox Tan Fake Dark Tropical Self-Tan Mousse. So on both of these, there's these little like graphics at the bottom that say plant-based and then reduced smell technologies, and I did just assume that this was cruelty-free. Yeah, so on the back here it says cruelty-free and vegan as well. So pretty excited. And how cute is this packaging? I'm obsessed. This is like my favorite color, pink. I love it. So if you're new here, I do have a playlist of self-tanners that I've tried out. I've started this year trying out just like a whole bunch of different ones, and I do have quite a few reviews on my channel at this point, so definitely check that playlist out down below. But if you're interested in my tanning prep advice, I did film that in my Loving Tan Platinum video, so I will link that video down below if you're interested. It is timestamped, so you will be able to you don't have to watch the whole thing if you don't want to, but if you're interested in my tanning prep, you will be able to just watch the section on tanning prep if you're interested. I haven't been going over prep in every video because I just feel like that could get redundant. So anyway, I've already done all of my preps, so let's go ahead and get right into it with these two products. Okay. So first thing we want to do is go over the claims. So let's go over the Gradual Self-Tan Face Serum first. So on the back here it says, when tanning meets skincare, our lightweight, hyaluronic-rich self-tan serum is your real-life filter. It works hard to give your face a flawless bronzed glow so you can ditch your foundation, combat fine lines, and plump your skin. This is a gradual serum. Dial it up or dial it down. You choose your glow level, babe. And then it says, use in the PM and wake up glowing. Apply 2 to 5 times per week to your face and neck until you reach your desired tan. Wash hands after use. So it sounds pretty, it sounds like I would use this pretty similar to the way that I use my Saint Tropez tanning face serum that I love. So sounds good. And then for the mousse, let's go over the claims really quick. So it says, whatever the weather, you have the right to glow with our dark tropical self-tan mousse. This extremely lightweight and non-sticky formula is packed with skin-loving pro-vitamin B5, green tea extract, coconut water, aloe vera, and 100% natural plant-based DHA. We like to think of it as skincare and tanning in one. I love the emphasis on like ingredients that are good for your skin in addition to being a self-tanner. Love it. And then it says, forget about those nasty fake tan smells. We've added reduced scent technology, how fab, and a delicious pineapple scent that'll give you all the tropical vibes. Oh, I'm excited for that. Leaving an instant tint when applied so you can glow and go. Our formula also helps eliminate tanning mishaps, aka streaks, and missed bits so you can achieve a perfect tan every time. Pump, apply, and glow. So let's see, how long does it say to leave it on for? Depending on your desired tan level, apply 1 to 2 coats and leave on for approximately 6 to 8 hours for a long-lasting glow. Shower off with warm water and always pat skin dry. For an even streak-free glow, we recommend skin to be exfoliated and free of moisturizer before application. Awesome. So everything sounds pretty much normal from what you would expect for just kind of like your standard self-tanning mousse. Okay, so let's go ahead and apply the face serum first. So I'm just gonna drop, I don't know, maybe like 3, 4, 5 drops in my hand. I really like to make sure I have enough to cover some ground, so I'm not really a minimalist when it comes to this stuff. Oh, it does feel really nice and lightweight. It feels, so my Saint Tropez one that I use all the time feels a little bit more of like a gel consistency. This definitely feels a lot more of like a liquidy consistency. It's very, very lightweight. Doesn't feel like it has too much of a smell to it. Definitely no self-tan smell, but it doesn't really feel like it's heavily fragranced either, which is great because it is for your face. And some people can be really sensitive to that. And I would say that those 5 drops are enough to cover the majority of my face, but again, it feels very lightweight, so I almost feel like I can't tell. So I think I am just gonna get like a couple more, maybe like 3 drops, just to make sure that I have covered all the surface area, like especially kind of here in the center of my face. Okay, let's move on to the mousse. So I've got my Glow Getter Mitt on, and I'm just gonna start with a couple pumps. All right, looks nice. Oh, it does smell like pineapple. It smells really good. Again, it's not overpowering. It's definitely nice and light, but I did kind of get that whiff of pineapple right away. Definitely a decent color guide. I feel like I can definitely see a difference in color right away. Yeah, that looks really nice. So I would say, I mean, in that Saint-Tropez Express tan that I tried out before this, right before this one, the color guide was definitely a lot lighter. So I would say that the color guide is definitely darker than that one, just like in comparison, because that's the most recent one that I did. But that being said, this also does feel very, very lightweight on my skin. It feels like it's drying pretty quickly. Like it's easy to spread. It's not drying quickly in the sense where it feels like you have to really work quickly with it or it's gonna go streaky, but it does feel very lightweight. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't feel heavy on my skin at all. All right, so let's get a little more here and do my arms. And then as always, I like to spread it out across like my whole arm first and get like my arm, the surface area of my arm covered as much as possible. And then I'll lightly go over my elbow, which has already been moisturized with a thick body butter to make sure that we don't go patchy there. But getting the majority of the tan like onto your arm and off your mitt at first, and then just kind of lightly going over your elbow will help you just not put too much on your elbow, because that's a spot where your tan can really overdevelop. And I kind of do the same thing with my armpits too. I just very lightly go over them, but again, that's a spot where it can go a little funny. And make sure you don't have any deodorant on when you do this, because it'll literally turn your deodorant green if you put tanner over top of it. So I will say this mitt feels really nice and soft too. It definitely glides the tan nicely over my skin. It's not catching or bunching up or anything. It's really, really nice. Okay, and then really quick, let's do our hands. So I'm just gonna get a pump and a half on my glove here, and I'm gonna work it in with my brush. And I'm just gonna start at the base of my wrist and buff this into my hands. Okay, you guys, side note, sorry, I should have done this at the beginning, and one thing that I've realized that I've been leaving out of my self-tan reviews unintentionally, but I haven't been talking about the prices of all the different tanners, and I feel like that is important information to know. So now that I remembered it, let's talk about this one. So it looks like this mousse is only $19.99, which is really, really good for a self-tan. I feel like, I mean, if you compare that to Lovingtan's like 40 bucks for a bottle like this. So $19.99, if we love this, is a really, really good price. And then it looks like the mitt is $9.99 on their website. And then the gradual self-tan face serum is $19.99 as well. That's really good to know, because that means, again, if this is a self-tan that we end up loving, it's also a really affordable option, as opposed to like Lovingtan or Saint-Tropez, which can be a little bit more expensive. So good to know, you guys. Okay, so for the initial application, I feel like we've got a nice bronze going already. I feel like that went on super quickly. I feel like I was able to just kind of like slap that on and blend it out without thinking about it too much. It does not look or feel streaky at all. It feels dry. I don't feel sticky. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go off camera and apply this to the rest of my body. I am gonna let this develop for the rest of the day. So I am gonna give it that 6 to 8 hours to fully develop before we wash it off. So it is 12:52 right now. So just before 1 o'clock, so let's just call it 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we will do a check-in tonight after we've let the tan fully develop, and I'll give you guys some of my thoughts. So I will see you in a couple of hours. All right, you guys, good morning. I am saying good morning because I completely forgot to rinse this tan off last night before I went to bed. So it has been on my skin for quite some time. It's a little before 9 a.m. right now the next day. So, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a good thing because I forgot that the tan was on my skin. So that means that it wasn't like sitting super heavy on my skin or anything like that. But that being said, I am going to rinse this off. I'm going to slap a little bit of makeup on my face and we will do one more check-in before we test this tan out throughout the week. So I'll see you in just a second. All right, you guys, so here we are. I've rinsed the tan off and I've applied some body lotion just to keep my skin nice and moisturized. I would say I am pretty happy with this tan. Overall, it's been a really great experience so far. I am not patchy anywhere. The tan looks really good. My hands look good. Elbows look good. I would say that this is definitely a nice olive color. The foundation that I had to use to match this tan was definitely a lot more warm leaning as opposed to like a neutral leaning tan. That being said, I am going to go about my week and I will come back for a 7-day check-in. So I will see you guys in a couple days. Okay, hello everybody. It is actually 2 weeks later because that first week, that initial application that you just saw, it was 4th of July weekend immediately following that application. So I actually was at the beach, like in the ocean and in the pool all weekend. And honestly, being in the water for 3 days straight just took the tan right off of my skin. And this isn't necessarily only the case with just this tan. I do feel like this is the case with most self-tanners. You do want to avoid going in the ocean and going swimming too much when you have it on because it does take it right off your skin. I do find that that happens at like varying degrees depending on the tan, but unfortunately with this one, the ocean took this tan right off of my body. So just keep that in mind. But I did do a second full week wear test with this where I did not go in the water at all. So now I have a good judgment, I think, on this tan and how I feel about it. So we're gonna go through all of that right now. All right, so the first metric that we are going to discuss today is color. I would give this a 4.5 out of 5 for color. It was pretty dark, especially I feel like the second application for this, when I was doing the second wear test, I feel like the tan got even darker the second time I applied it than it did that first time. The only tans that I have tried that I would say are still just a smidge darker than this one are the Coco and Eve Sunny Honey Ultra Dark and the Loving Tan Platinum. But that being said, I do feel like this one, even though it's only labeled dark, and a lot of the tans that I usually test out are labeled ultra dark, this is a contender. I wouldn't say that this is only dark. I would say that this definitely could be a contender for like the ultra dark categories. And I do feel like this is one of those tans where even after you rinse it off, it does continue to develop and get darker. So just keep that in mind. If you try this, you might not be super impressed with the color when you first wash it off, but I did notice that it did continue to get darker over the next, honestly, like day or two. So yeah, pretty good color on this one. Okay, so next up is smell. Again, pretty quick. 5 out of 5 for smell. It has a really light fragrance when you're applying it, but I did not notice any self-tan smell while I was like setting in it. I also did not notice any self-tan smell throughout the week while I was wearing it, even after it was rinsed off. So yeah, short and sweet, 5 out of 5 for self-tan smell. I really did not experience any with this one. All right, next up we have lasting time for our third metric. I got a full 5 days out of this tan. It really did last. Even with working out every day, showering every day, I shaved once or twice. So just with making sure that I was applying lotion when I got out of the shower, I really did feel like I got a full 5 days out of this tan before it started to fade. And honestly, in order to get it to fade, I do feel like I had to scrub at it a little bit just to get it to wash off. So it did last really well in terms of like keeping most of the depth from the initial application for a full 5 days. So I am going to give it a top score 5 out of 5 for lasting time. All right, moving into our next metric, which is going to be patchiness. Now, this is where it gets a little bit less than ideal for me. This tan did go pretty patchy on my hands and feet. And I will say, I do feel like that happened a little bit more on the second application than the first.
as the tan was fading, I do feel like it wasn't obvious all over my body that it was going patchy, but it definitely was obvious on my hands and feet again. So I don't know. I feel like a 3.5 might be a little harsh for patchiness, but I definitely feel like I can't give this above a 4. So I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 for patchiness, because again, it wasn't like patchiness all over. For the most part, the tan did stay really well, but on the places where it did go patchy, it was a little obvious. So 4 out of 5 for patchiness. All right, and our last metric here is going to be transfer. And this, I have to say, is definitely going to be the lowest scoring area for me. It did transfer onto my clothes as I was letting it marinate. It did transfer onto my clothes throughout the week, especially my workout clothes. As I was sweating, I would notice it kind of like in my armpit area, on my sports bras and tank tops, on the inside of my sports bras, even a little bit on the inside of my workout pants. It definitely did transfer, especially when I was sweating. And again, even if I'm not working out vigorously on any given day, I do live in Florida, it is the summer, and I am sweating pretty much every time I go outside to take the dog for a walk or just go anywhere, honestly. So I do need a tan that is going to be a little bit more sweat proof than this one. So I'm gonna give this a, oh gosh, I don't even know, 2.5. Is that too harsh? A 3? I'm gonna give us a 3 out of 5 for transfer. It didn't get all over the place, but like for me, the biggest thing is the sweat, getting like the tan sweat marks on my clothes from working out. That is something that I really do want to avoid. So it could be different for everyone because your body chemistry is different for everybody, right? But for me, this wasn't great in terms of transfer. So I'm gonna give this a 3 out of 5 for that. Right, so if you're doing the math along with me, that brings us to an overall score of 4.4 out of 5 for this tan. Not terrible, still a pretty decent score, but there were just some elements of this tan that I liked more than others. Again, overall, a really great experience for this tan, and I do feel like you have to factor in the $19.99 price tag of this as well. That's a lot more affordable than a lot of the tans that I've tried, so this is a more affordable option, and I do feel like if you are looking for a tan on a budget, I would recommend trying this one, because I do think that the things that weren't so great about it are workable, so you can kind of figure out how to make it work for you. So overall, good experience with this tan. There just were some things that, you know, weren't great, and I have to be honest about them because that's the point of these reviews. So that's my score on this tan. Before we go, I do just want to briefly talk on these other two products. So this Gradual Self Tan Face Serum, I really liked this. I definitely agree that it is gradual. I will say that, like, in comparison to the Saint Tropez vitamin serum that I usually use, this takes a little bit longer to develop a color. I don't feel like it broke me out or anything like that. It was just like a little extra boost of hydration and a little extra boost of glow. I was really impressed with this. I did like this, and I will continue to use this in my face tanning routine. And then the last thing is this glove. I wanted to mention this because honestly, I think this is my favorite self-tanning mitt that I've tried so far, and this will probably be my new go-to mitt to use when I'm tanning. I just really liked it. It's velvety soft. It didn't feel like it caught on my skin. Like sometimes with some of my other gloves, it'll kind of catch as I'm trying to rub it, and it'll like roll up my hand, and then I'm like sticking my hand in the tan, which is not what I want. I feel like it stayed really nicely around my wrist. I love that it says Glow Getter here in pink. I just think that's so cute, but I feel like this really did help me spread the tan out evenly and quickly all over my body. So if you're in the market for a new tanning mitt, I would give this one a try as well. I really did enjoy my experience using this. So with all that being said, that is going to be it for this video. Thank you again to the Fox Tan for sending me these products to test out for you guys. I hope this was helpful and informational if you are in the market for a new self-tan, or if you've been looking at these self-tanning products specifically. With all that being said, I'm dressed for the beach, so I'm gonna get out of here. But if you have made it this far in this video and you have not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you join me here. You can also follow me on Instagram. I am at DevDevGregs over there. That's just a lot more of my day today. I do post beauty and beach related content over there as well, so if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and give me a follow over there. And with that, I will catch you in my next video. Mwah. Love you. Bye.